Fear. Fear is another thing that can stop us ladies from attracting the right man, right? Fear of being vulnerable, avoiding being emotionally open. We might have baggage, we may have issues that we've gone through, but
Mhm.
if you're going to connect with someone, you have to be willing to open up. You can't give them part of you, you got to give them all of you. So that's another thing. We got to be willing to communicate and talk about our fears and show the real us, who we really are.
You know, make a great point, and a lot of us come with quote unquote baggage, okay? We come with issues, things that we've dealt with in the past. But what I look for when I'm trying to date a woman or get to know her is she willing to grow, okay? Is she self-reflective? Is she looking at who she was and who she could be, okay? Because if you're stuck in your ways and you're saying, well, I'm good enough, well, most of the time you're not good enough, to be honest with you. That's why your relationships failed in the past, okay? And a lot of times you have to do what they call renewing of your mind. In other words, you have to look at yourself, be self-reflective, and get to the point to say, what are some of the things I need to work on so that I can be a great partner, so to speak, like everybody likes to use that word partner. How can I be, a great partner to someone, and how can we get to the point where we can grow this relationship? One of the things I find too with Vanessa is a lot of women go into a relationship thinking it's not going to work out because their previous relationships didn't work out.
Mm.
Okay. You have to go in thinking he's not going to cheat. Okay. He is trustworthy. He is a leader. He is going to look out for your best interest. And if you go in with that positive attitude, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to work out. Okay. Is it 100%? No. But if you go in thinking that, sabotaging relationship, thinking that men are no good, it's not going to work out. There are no good men out there. And let me just try to get what I can from this man. And then in a couple of years, I move on to the next one. That is not a good strategy for women. Okay. You need to be looking, first of all, finding a man who is has the qualities that you're looking for in a man. We talked about character, we talked about morals, we talked about leadership, and then uh, getting to the point where you're able to build with him. And a lot of times, also look at him as someone that can provide value and can provide that leadership to you, that can help you to maybe overcome some of the fears and things that you've been dealing with in the past. Okay. You have to get to the point where you trust that partner.
You bring out a good point with the mindset. That mindset, not only just for relationships, that mindset controls a lot of things. When you go in with a mindset, and if your mindset is in the right spot, and you go in with a clear mindset, I'm open, I'm willing to give it my all, your results will usually come out that way. I'm in sales. If I go into an appointment and my mindset's not right, guess what? I'm not going to get that sale. But if I go into that appointment with, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right, and I got that positive energy about me, that sale usually goes over pretty well. And like you said, the same thing with relationships, that constant, in checking yourself, the renewal of the mind, self-reflecting. Very good point.
Yeah, and I just want to add one more thing. When it comes to business, when it comes to getting a job, I always go in with the intention of, you know what, this job is mine. I'm
Mhm.
qualified for this. Or if I'm sitting down with a client, I know what I bring to the table. I know that I'm able to help the client. And really what it comes down to in most cases, do they have the money to be able to fund whatever project they're working on? Okay. Are they able to actually afford the services that I'm providing? And if they have the money, 9 times out of 10, I'm able to close the deal because I'm going in with confidence, knowing I can help that person.
Right, right.